We've all been there. Rent due, unexpected car trouble, life throws curveballs, and suddenly your bank account is looking a little sparse. That's where cash advance apps like Albert come in. They offer a quick way to bridge the gap between paychecks, a small safety net to catch you before you fall. But with all these financial apps popping up, it's natural to wonder, with Albert, how much can you actually borrow? Let's dive into the world of Albert advances, what the limit is, and how it all works. So, what exactly is an Albert advance? Think of it like a friendly nudge from your future self. Albert doesn't do traditional loans with interest rates and credit checks. Instead, they offer an advance on your next paycheck. Basically, you're borrowing a bit of your own money up front. It's a great way to avoid overdraft fees or those late payment penalties that can really sting. All right, how much can I grab with an Albert advance? Here's the key detail you've been waiting for. The maximum advance limit with Albert is $250. That might not sound like a ton, but for those unexpected expenses, it can be a lifesaver. Now, here's the kicker. Not everyone gets the full $250. Albert uses a few factors to determine your individual limit. What affects your Albert advance limit? Account history. The longer you've been using Albert and the more consistent your income deposits, the more likely you are to qualify for a higher limit. Spending habits. Albert takes a peek at your usual spending patterns to assess your ability to repay the advance. Responsible money management equals potentially bigger advances. Income. This one's pretty straightforward. The more you bring in, the more Albert might be comfortable extending. Is there a way to know your specific limit beforehand? Unfortunately, there's no magic formula to predict your exact limit. However, Albert does analyze your account activity and lets you know what your estimated limit is. You'll see this within the app itself. Here's the cool part. Even if you start with a lower limit, it can increase over time as you build trust with Albert by using their service responsibly. Beyond the limit, things to consider with Albert advances. While an Albert advance can be a handy tool, there are a few things to keep in mind. It's not free. There's a one-time fee associated with using Albert advances. The fee is optional, but it helps Albert keep the service running smoothly. You can choose to tip what you think is fair, or there's a minimum amount required to cover the advance. Repayment is automatic. The advance amount will be automatically deducted from your next qualifying deposit. Make sure you have enough coming in to cover it to avoid any issues with your account. Planning is key. Don't rely on Albert advances as a long-term solution. They're meant for those one-off situations. It's always a good idea to create a budget and track your spending to avoid needing advances regularly. So, is an Albert advance right for you? If you're looking for a quick and relatively painless way to cover a small, unexpected expense, then an Albert advance could be a good option. It's a responsible alternative to payday loans or racking up overdraft fees. Just remember to use it wisely, factor in the fee, and make sure you can comfortably repay the advance come payday. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.